Good afternoon and welcome to Kingston Park, home of Newcastle Falcons Rugby Union, but also to Newcastle Thunder for the round 10 Betfred Championship tie between Newcastle Thunder and Halifax Panthers. Today, Sunday the 7th of May 2023. Halifax looking to make it 3 on the bounce at this venue since lockdown and carry on moving up the table. Newcastle at the foot of the table, looking to improve there. We'll go through the teams first of all. The Thunder, they line up with Alex Donaghy at number 6 at fullback, number 20 Gideon Buafo, number 29 Nick Staveley, number 11 Alex Foster, and number 5 Alex Clegg. Nickal Williams at 7 at standoff, at 27 Jack Miller at scrum half, number 8 Jay Chapelhow, number 23 Connor Moore at the props, and ex-Fax man Curtis Davis wears number 9. Good to see him getting some regular game time in the championship. Connor Moore wears 23 and Brad Gallagher wears 12. 17 Robert Tuliatu and number 13 Connor Bailey locks up the scrum. On the bench for the Thunder, number 10 Mitch Clark, number 15 Ted Chapelhow, number 24 Daniel Okoro, and number 14 Daneve Barnford. 18th man is number 22 Jake Anderson, and they're coached by Chris Thorman. The Panthers, a few changes from the team that demolished the Bulls in the Cup a couple of weeks back. Brandon Pickersgill makes his return to the side wearing 18 at fullback. Lachlan Walmsley wears 2. Jake Mason wears 22. Ben Tibbs wears 4. And Zach McComb on the wing instead of James Saltonstall wears 3. James Woodburn-Hall moves up into the halfbacks, wears 1. And on his 150th career game, Joe Keys wears 7. Front row Fax, 16 Will Calcott, Dan Murray number 10 at the props. And Kyle Wood comes into the side for Brandon Moore, wears 14. Ben Kavanagh, Matty G and Jacob Fairbank wear 11, 12 and 13 respectively. And Jacob Fairbank leads the side onto the field as captain for the day. On the bench for the Panthers, number 20 Tom Inman, number 19 Ryan Lannon, number 8 Adam Tangata, and a very welcome return for number 31 Kevin Leroyer. His first game since London Broncos at home, where he suffered that awful calf injury. Good to see him back. 18th man for Fax, number 24 Cole Oakley. And of course we are coached by Simon Griggs. Referee today, Scott Mikulauskis. And we're all ready to go as AC/DC blast in the background. It'll be a Thunder to kick off. Halifax playing in blue and white, the Thunder in purple. Halifax playing away from the fans that are behind that post. A good healthy following from the Fax blue and white army today. We're just waiting for the news to stop. And the game's underway. Woodburn-Hall takes it, gives it on to Murray. First it up of the game, tries to bounce off Robert Tuilatu, but he's put down by 3 Thunder defenders there. Wood wakes at halfback. Onto Woodburn-Hall, onto Calcott. Going towards the 20 metre line. Wood goes left to Keys, finds Kavanagh. Tries to poke his nose through, but he's taken down there by Alex Foster, playing in an unaccustomed position in the centre. Keys runs across onto Woodburn-Hall, finds Pickersgill, great tackle there by Jack Miller. Quick play of the ball, and Tibbs goes blind from dummy half. Last tackle here for the Panthers. Woodburn-Hall fills in at dummy half and finds Keys. Keys just puts it straight down the middle. Bit of a tricky bounce there for Alex Clegg, but eventually deals with it. And he's put down by 3. Halifax defenders just shy of the 20 metre line. Jacob Fairbank there in attendance. Here's Buafo looking to make yards, but strong defence there from Calcott and G. There's Nick Staveley going towards the 40 metre line, put down by Tibbs. Davis goes blind. He gets good offload there from the Thunder. As Connor Moore gets halfway, put down by Fairbank and Murray. Big contact there. Jay Chapelhow attracts the defenders. Last tackle here for the Thunder. Inside Halifax half as Nickal Williams puts it high. First test for Pickersgill, which he passes well. and passes well to Walmsley. Walmsley finds McComb looking for a gap in the defence. He goes out wide. Great play, and Tibbs fancies the outside, and Tibbs is away. Tibbs finds it supporting side for Walmsley, but great cover tackle there by the Thunder. I think Williams who got back there. Great opportunity here for Halifax. As Pickersgill takes his tackle just shy of the Thunder 40. Wood fires out to Keys, who finds Calcott running slightly wider than the middle, but put down by 3 Newcastle defenders. Quick play of the ball as well. Wood shakes right and goes left. Wood Bernal disguised past Amazing, but the Newcastle defence are wise to it. Into the 20-metre area. Here's Keys running across field. Steps and goes himself, throws a dummy, but Newcastle defence are wise to it again. Last tackle for Halifax. Wood Bernal finds Pickersgill onto Tibbs. Tibbs steps inside, but it's a great cover tackle there by Jack Miller. But a decent set there for Halifax, forcing the Newcastle attack to come out from less than 10 out from their own line. As Boafo takes up first of all. A big strong defence there from Wood and G. Staveley once more making yards for the Thunder, but takes 3 to put him down. Wood Bernal and Tibbs finishing off. We've run again there from Tuilatu. As Halifax putting pressure on this Newcastle defence. Here's Williams onto Donaghy. Donaghy finds Foster trying to shake off the challenge of Mason and Keys. They do well. He manages to get the offload off late, and Williams has lost that. It's a knock on. Great pressure in defence there from Keys and Mason. And it's a great opportunity for Fax to strike first here. Coming up to the 5-minute mark, and a great attacking scrum opportunity here. .35 metres out from the line, centre field. Will we see a planned move here? There's lots of chatting in there, but it's just going to be fairly orthodox. As Wood Bernal runs from the scrum out the back to Pickersgill. Pickersgill finds McComb on the outside. McComb steps back inside. Boafo stuck to him well. It's a good run there from Fax, who've got 6 tackles on this Newcastle line. Wood Bernal finds Keys out back to Kyle Wood. Mason looking to size up Foster, does well. Mason, Britain's Jake the Snake. Mason breaking through. Has he got the ball down? No. Desperate defence from Newcastle, hold him up. But Mason got the better of Foster there. Here's Wood, finds Keys, going lateral, drops it off to Calcott, who goes direct. Still going Calcott, even with 3 men in attendance. As they put him down, no penalty forthcoming from Miklauskis. Here's Wood Bernal, short ball, spilled by G and Boafo. He's got plenty of paces. Boafo fancies on the outside, but McComb does well. Opportunity missed there for the Panthers. As Miller hands on to Staveley, who once more goes into that teeth of the Panthers' defence. Here's Newcastle there with Clegg helping out his forwards in the middle. Davis goes blind, finds Tuilatu, and Tuilatu attracted 4 Panthers defenders, who eventually put him down just over halfway. Here's Miller, finds Connor Bailey. Connor Bailey put down well by Murray and Calcott, but his left body's on the floor, and Curtis Davis looks to take advantage onto Miller. Miller finds Tuilatu onto Staveley. Staveley trying to go through, but good defence there from Halifax. But the Thunder into the Panthers 20 here. Here's Miller. Options here, finds Williams. Williams dinks it over the top, looking for the chasers. Pickersgill gets it in goal. Can he get out of the in goal area? He can't. It's good defence there from the Thunder. Nice little think over from Williams, and Pickersgill couldn't really do much more than that. And it's the first goal line drop out of the game. And it'll be Keys. Oh, and Connor Moore drops it with no pressure on him, and 9 times out of 10 he'll take that no problem, but this is the one occasion where he drops the ball and it's a massive let off for Halifax. He'll get the scrum 10 metres shy of halfway centre field. Keys will feed. Woods will hand it on to Woodburn Hall, who passes it on to McComb. Will take 0 tackle, a couple of yards shy of halfway. Here's G, pass slightly behind him, but he does well. Put down by 2 Thorn defenders. Wood onto Fairbank. Fairbank finds Keys. Keys out the back to Pickersgill. Pickersgill looking to break free, but put down by Foster. Fax 30 out here, and it's the first 6 again of the game as well. Fax with more tackles on the board. As Fairbank just outside the Newcastle 20 metre area. Calcott looking for a quick play of the ball and gets it. Wood out of dummy half finds Keys. Keys out the back to Woodburn Hall. Woodburn Hall shakes off tackle of Williams, but Williams goes back to him. Tackles in the bag here for Fax. Here's Keys. Finds Calcott on the short ball, but good tackle there from Tuilatu. Options left and right here for Fax. Wood shakes right and goes left. Finds Dan Murray. Dan Murray going himself, going for the line. And once more, Halifax held up over that Newcastle line. As Murray, looking for his first try of the season, held up. Wood goes blind for Keys. Keys dribbles it through. It's a great tackle there from Pickersgill. As they forced Newcastle get the first goal line drop out of the game. Still 0-0 here, just before the 10-minute mark. And yet more possession, attacking possession for Halifax. As Donaghy takes a drop out, Pickersgill takes it well. Hands on to Calcott, who wind up. Big contact, but Calcott rides it well. 25 metres out from the line. 6 again on the first tackle from Chapel Hours. Halifax look to break. Right, G. Put down by the Newcastle defence on that left edge. Here's Murray. First receiver finds Keys. Keys short ball to Kavanagh. Kavanagh traps 2 defenders, put down. Wood, that's out from dummy half, finds Murray once more. Short ball Fairbank, but Fairbank taken well by that Newcastle defence. Less than 5 out here, Halifax. Wood finds Keys. Keys, one ball out to Mason. Steps inside this time, Mason. Good defence once more from the Thunder. Foster sticking to him. Here's Keys. Keys hands on to Murray. Murray put down, less than 10 out. Last tackle here for Fax. Wood goes from dummy half. Dummies himself. Is he over? Defended well there by the Thunder, just short, but Fax turned the ball over right on that Thunder line. As the game stops, as Scott Misklauskis is having a bit of an issue with his wiring.
Don't forget our next game is the big one, and it's Magic Friday when it returns to Kingston Park on Friday the 2nd of June versus Bradford Bulls. If you fancy watching the Thunder and Style on Magic Friday, hospitality packages are available and book.
Looks like he's got all that wiring issue sorted. as Newcastle start to set off. Less than 5 out from their own line. Here's Foster. Finds Calcott and Wood, who put him down just 10 out. Big contact there from Kavanagh and Mason, restricting this Thunder yardage from Clegg. They go blind again. Good tackle once more on Brad Gallagher. Here's Williams, runs across field, finds Miller, brings on to LR2 on the angle, but all he sees is a wall of blue and white who put him down 25 from his own line. Davis finds Moore. Connor Moore put down just shy of 40. It's the last tackle here for Newcastle. Great defensive set so far from Halifax as Kavanagh puts pressure on Williams, who just puts it high. Taken by Pickersgill, and here's Walmsley looking to counter-attack, who's put down 25 out from his own line. Here's McComb, met by 3 Newcastle defenders who put him down just short of the 40. Here's Fairbank. Fairbank thought about the pass but goes himself. Good yards there from Fairbank. Wood finds Keys on this short side, brings on Kavanagh on the angle. Good tackle there from Moore, but it's a quick play of the ball from Kavanagh and Wood takes advantage. Finds Fairbank onto Calcott. Big collision there. But Calcott once again rides it well. Last tackle here for Fax. Here's Keys, who puts it high, looking for Walmsley to challenge. Use contact from Foster, but I think he made a mountain out of a molehill there in Walmsley. There's Foster once more. Tries to get Newcastle out of trouble, but it's a good tackle there from Fairbank and Kavanagh. Here's Boafo. Met by 3 Panther defenders in the shape of Murray, Calcott and G. Here's Chapelau. Forwards taking over here for Newcastle. It's a quick play of the ball as well. Curtis Davis jumping out. Big collision there from Kavanagh. Great shot. Finished off by Murray. And it's the last here for Newcastle on halfway. Williams puts it high once more. Pickersgill. Long pass to McComb. He'll take his tackle just shy of the 20. Here's Woodburn Hall. Finds Tibbs. Tibbs put down by 2. Quick play of the ball as well. Woodburn Hall picks up one-hander from dummy half. Great yards from Woody there. Finds halfway. And it's another quick play of the ball as well. Tibbs stepping, but just takes the big shoulder of Chapelau. Good yards here from Fax. Here's Keys. Back to Pickersgill, who does a break through, but good tackle there from Williams. Last one here for Fax. As Keys puts it to the corner, looking for Walmsley once more. Taken by Clegg. Will just surrender as Walmsley chase as well. Newcastle going blind here. Williams going down the blind alley as Mason testing to resolve this referee. Nearly a drag, but nothing given. Foster runs into big contact from Fairbank and Kavanagh. And once more, Fairbank putting himself about so far. Is Bailey. Taken down by Murray, G and Calcott. Last tackle here for the Thunder. Not even made 40 metres as Miller this time. Kicks his charge down. As Woodburn Hall collects on the 45 onto Pickersgill. Great tackle there from Curtis Davis. Here's McComb. Looking to make yards upfield for Halifax, who enter Newcastle territory here. Wood finds Woodburn Hall onto G. G targets Miller, bumps it off, but Staveley down low. Woodburn Hall goes from dummy half once more. Runs across field looking for men. Here's Keys onto Kavanagh. Kavanagh going the outside onto Mason. Call for obstruction, but the referee says that he surrendered the tackle, gave himself up. Here's Keys once more, running across field, brings on Murray on the angle. Put down on the 20, last tackle here for Fax. As they stack it left here, Keys. Short ball to Kavanagh. And he's back to one. He touched the Newcastle hand. As Halifax will get 6 more tackles on this Newcastle line. On to Pickersgill. Pickersgill stepping through. More desperate defence from Newcastle on their own line. And Fax will get 6 more tackles on this Newcastle line. And Calcott looking to barge his way over. Once more, this is strong Thunder defence. Wood on to Keys. Keys fires out right to Woodburn Hall. On to G. They had the overlap, but G steps inside. Can he make his way over? Again, desperate defence from Newcastle on their own line. Wood onto Woodburn Hall, 2-on-1 here, and Keys. Keys goes through. On his 150th career appearance, Joe Keys opens up the scoring for the game. And he scores his 2nd try of the season. And after 18 minutes here at Kingston Park, thanks to Joe Keys, it's Newcastle Thunder 0, Halifax Panthers 4. And it had been coming, Halifax threatening with sets on the line, and quite fortuitous 6 again with the Newcastle hand touching the ball. And they went coast to coast, went one way then right, found the overlapping Keys to the right option for him, dummying the remaining Newcastle defender to go over in the corner to score his 2nd try of the season. But he's left himself a difficult conversion from out wide. We're in the stand here where there's no fans, and we're in unique opportunity. You can hear most of the players, and Kyle Wood, you can hear talking so much louder over the others. He uses his experience as the players take the applause, those Fax fans behind the post, and Keys strikes it high but pulls it to the left hand side. So the score remains Newcastle Thunder 0, Halifax Panthers 4.
Come on, Thunder fans! Substitution for the Newcastle Thunder coming off number 23, Conor Moore, sponsored by JW Group, replaced by number 15, Ted Chaplow, sponsored by G.
Just shy of 20 minutes here, you can see on that far side some of the Halifax subs warming up as Donaghy kicks high and deep, taken by Woodburn Hall, and on to Murray, who finds nothing but Jay Chapalow and his brother Ted waiting for him. Fresh onto the field, Ted Chapalow. Here's Fairbank onto Kavanagh. Kavanagh put down there by Foster. Wood goes blind. Fairbank thought about the pass but takes on himself. As Newcastle looking to react to the score with some tough defence. Keys finds Woodburn Hall, but good shoot out there for the Newcastle man. Here's Wood onto Murray, onto Fairbank, a bit of an hospital ball there. As Newcastle reacting well there, restricting yardage here from Fax. Wood finds Keys, last tackle and not barely out their own 20, and Keys puts it deep, bounces once and Boafo looking to make yards here for Newcastle Thunder, and they'll start their set just over their own 40-metre line. Put down well by Wood. Murray and Calcott chasing well. Here's Clegg. Put down just shy of halfway by Keys and Kavanagh. Here's Chapalow, big contact there from Calcott. Downstairs from Fairbank and finish off by Wood. Now back to Miller. Newcastle threatening on the left-hand side. Tuilatu breaks through. And the ball's gone forward. Forward pass, knock on, take your pick. And it's an opportunity missed for Newcastle there, but Good scrambling from Murray, but I can see the threat that left edge has with Miller and Tuilatu. After all, that'll be an Halifax scrum. Just shy of the 20. 20 metres in from touch on that far side. Woodburn all feeds. Wood finds Keys. Wide to Mason. Halifax fancy on this outside, but Foster comes across well onto Nichow Williams as well. Walmsley goes from dummy half. High shot there from Williams, but Walmsley keeps on going. And eventually, Mikalauskis gives it. After more than 20 minutes here, it's the first penalty of the game. And it goes the way of the Panthers. And Keys, ball kicks touch. He'll find the Newcastle 40. Amazing old tap. Wide to Fairbank. Fairbank dummies to Murray and goes himself. There's Chapelau. Jay Chapelau that is. Puts him down. Sorry, that was Ted. Keys out the back to Pickersgill. Halifax fans to this right hand side. Tibbs put down just shy of the 20. Here's McComb, quick play the ball. McComb looking for a gap, trying to step through. Put down by two Newcastle defenders. This is good from Halifax. Wood onto Lannon, fresh onto the field. But big tackle there. Great technique there from Connor Davis, but he's still moving his Lannon. Options left and right here for Fax. Wood shakes right and goes left, finds Keys. Keys goes for, short ball. Goes to no one. And the opportunity is lost, and it's a forward pass. As Ryan Lannon has come on for Will Calcoy, it looks like. And Newcastle will have the scrum 10 metres out from their own line. Centre field. It'll be Nichow Williams to feed. On to Miller. And here's Stavely. Put down by three. Fats defenders there. Quick play the ball as Miller looks to take advantage of. Mark is not squaring. Gets a 6 again. But it's on the first tackle, so not much impact there as Boafo sets a tackle 30 out from his own line. There's Clegg. Takes his tackle on to Bailey. Bailey attracting three fast defenders. 45 out from his own line. Davis out from dummy half on to Chapelau. On Miller juggles it and Woodburn all takes advantage, drilling him into the turf. Bang on halfway. Last tackle here for Newcastle. Donny hands it on to Williams and Williams pulls up a spiral bomb. It's going everywhere is this, but Pickersgill drops it, but he's faced his own line. Avoiding the knock-on. Clever play from the full-back there. Calls for Newcastle for a knock-on go. Unheard as McComb does well. Great yards from Zach McComb. What the field as Adam Tangata comes onto the pitch. On for Dan Murray. And he takes it up himself. Here's Fairbank. Finds Keys. Keys shot ball to Kavanagh. Good defence there by Gallagher and Williams. As Thax go past halfway. Here's Lannon. Attracting three Newcastle defenders who put him down 35 out. Last tackle here for Fax. Here's Keys. Keys finds Mason. Gaps here. Mason grubbers it through, but just goes into the arms of Alex Clegg. Here's Alex Donaghy. Put down by three fast defenders. Fax slowing down the play of the ball. Nothing given from Miklaus as Boafo takes a tackle at Kavanagh and Fairbank. Williams onto Clegg once more. As Clegg pulls his nose through, but Keys and Walmsley stick to him. Gets quick play of the ball. Williams hands it on to Mitch Clark onto the field. Brushes off the challenge to Tangata, but Lannon and Woods there, but Tangata finishes him off on the floor. Davis jumps out. A forward side, a flat pass there from Davis. Onto Tuilatu, backs on to Chapelau. Ted Chapelau, that is, its last tackle here for Newcastle. 30 out, Halifax's line. Williams, long ball out to Clegg. But all he finds is the advertising hoardings. Good pressure from the inside defenders there. And Halifax will play the ball 20 metres out from their own line. Just under quarter of an hour to go to half time. Halifax still 4-0 up. Kavanagh to play the ball onto Walmsley. Walmsley looking for a gap, but just goes back exactly where he came from. Wood finds Mason. Mason runs across field looking for a gap, but takes a tackle of Davis and Bailey. Centre field. Wood finds McComb. Half good break there, but offload onto Wood. Hands off to Tangata. Tangata. Good footwork then. Gets brought down just shy of halfway. Looking for a quick play of the ball. Wood finds Fairbank onto Keys. Keys out the back to Pickersgill. Finds Mason. Ran out of room a little bit there, and Foster and Williams putting down. Walmsley finds Keys. Brings on Lannon on the angle. Big collision there from Gallagher. Good defence there for Newcastle. Last tackle here for Fax. 30 out for the Newcastle line, and Keys will put it high. Looking for Walmsley to challenge at fullback. Walmsley. Newcastle take it well. Donaghy wins the battle of the Gingers there. As Walmsley puts a tackle there, the ball's come loose. And it's a knock on there from Alex Clegg. And by the look of Lachlan Walmsley, I think he's got away with one. Great attacking opportunity here for Halifax as they get a scrum down. Centre field, less than 20 metres from the Newcastle line. And we seem to have abandoned the scrum moves that served us so well early on in the season. As Keys will look to feed. They're stacking the men right as Pickersgill moves late. Here's Woodburn Hall. Out the back to Pickersgill looking for McComb on the outside. Great tackle from Boafo. And McComb just stays in the field of play. Here's G. Runs towards centre field. But finds Mitch Clark and two other Newcastle defenders there. Fax 10 metres out. Tackles in the bag. Here's Lannon. Finds Keys. Keys brings on Mason on the angle. Looking for a gap in the Thunder defence with the doors closed. Looking for a quick play of the ball. Here's Woodburn Hall. Out to Pickersgill. Pickersgill looks to shake off the challenger Miller. But Miller takes him down. Still staying out from Newcastle's line. Wood goes from dummy half. Finds Fairbank. Fairbank shots Tangata. Tangata taken short of the Newcastle line. But it's going to be a penalty to Halifax here for offside. Will Fax be tempted to go for two? Given that Kyle Wood's got hold of the ball, I think they're just going to keep on going here. 6 more tackles on Newcastle's line as the referee wanting Newcastle back on their own line. Lannon with plenty of room to wind up. Attracts 4 Newcastle defenders. He's still moving towards that line. They're putting him down, less than 5 out. Lots of talk. Keys demanding the ball and gets it out back to Woodburn Hall, but Miller shoots out the line. Woodburn Hall shakes off the tackle. Goes centre field and is eventually put down. by Clark and Gallagher there. Wood finds Tangata, and Tangata knocks on. No real pressure on him, and Newcastle look to break through. Nikai Williams, who shakes the challenge off for Tangata, and he's still going. Nikai Williams eventually put down, but the ball's come loose, and Mason picks it up, and he's back to one. No one wants the ball at the moment, as McComb steps out the on-rushing Mitch Clark. Does well, McComb. Looking for a quick play of the ball and gets it. Keys jumps in the dummy half, finds Fairbank. Attracting 3 Newcastle defenders who are putting down 30 metres from their line. Wood finds Tangata looking to make up for his mistake there. Good yards into Newcastle 20. Wood finds it to Keys. Keys finds Woodburn Hall. Pass to no one there from Woody. And Newcastle get the ball. It's just turned a bit scrappy this game so far. Last 5 minutes or so. There's Donaghy. Thought about the pass to Ted Chappell, but keeps it himself. Thanks to defensive pressure from Fairback and Lannon. Here's Bailey. Good defence yet again from Wood and Kavanagh. Here's Mitch Clark. Short ball to Staveley. But the fast defence slides to the task. Putting down on the 40. Clark once more. Thought about the pass, but takes it himself. Trying to bump off the challenger, Lannon. Lannon sticks to him like glue. Finished off downstairs by Wood. A bit of a scrappy play of the ball there. But nothing given. As the ball's bouncing here, there and everywhere. As McComb takes the ball there. Takes his tackle there. And Tangata takes a tackle just over 20. Here's Walmsley. Newcastle putting pressure on this Panthers defence, but it's a quick play of the ball. Wood finds Lannon, who bounces off the challenger Clark. Still going forward, Lannon. Still moving, eventually put down just short of halfway, but he's lost the ball there. Hands in the tackle, but you could say the same was when Walmsley put pressure on the Newcastle man a few days there.
Come on, make some noise for your Thunder!
And Newcastle have a scrum just over the halfway line. Seven minutes to go here. There's a bit of a sloppy pass to Clay from underneath Barnford. On the team sheet it's 14, but looks like he's wearing 28. As Clark retracts. Fairbank, Lannon and Wood to him. Here's Bailey, finds Miller. Miller, short balls to Ilatu. Posts his nose through, but good tackle there by Woodburn Hall. Miller jumps into the dummy half, finds Ted Chappell. Newcastle's first real look Halifax's line in a while. Here's Bailey, finds Williams out the back. Out the back there, Walmsley, interception! And that's all she wrote. Lachlan Walmsley, who scored an interception try here for Scotland in the World Cup, will romp away to score under the posts for his 16th try of the season. And how often have we seen the interception from Wombat himself, the Flying Scotsman? And 5 minutes shy of half time, Halifax go 8-0 up. With a kick to come, Keys will surely make it 10. And that was a perfect response there. Newcastle looking threatening on this right flank, but Walmsley just picked it out. You could see him just running towards it. He just fell perfectly in his arms, and there's not many players in this league who'll be able to catch him with momentum like that. That's great news for Halifax as Kevin Leroy comes onto the field for his first game since the London Broncos match at the Shea way back in February. Great to see him back. As Joe Keys will no doubt turn this 4-6 as Leroy gets a really good reception from those Fax fans behind the posts. And Keys straight through the post, the flags are up. His first goal of the game. And it's Newcastle 0, Halifax 10.
Come on, Thunder fans, not long to go, let's keep going.
Donaghy kicks high, more central this time. Pickersgill waiting for it, takes it on Tangata. One straight at Bampeth, who does well. And Fats will start to set off 20 metres from the goal line. Here's Leroy straight onto the field and straight into the action and does well. Good yards from the Frenchman. Wood jumps out of dummy half and finds Lannon. Leroy came on for Fairbank. Wood finds Kavanagh and Kavanagh drops the ball and shows his frustration there. And just like Connor Moore in the first half, 9 times out of 10 Kavanagh takes that pass, but he drops it this time and it gives Newcastle, with just over 2 minutes to go till half time here, an opportunity to put some points on the board. Scrumming halfway, centre field. Williams feeds this trap at the back, and here's Miller. Short ball to Staveley, and Staveley, good yards after contact there, eventually put down by Tibbs and Woodburn all. But it's quick play of the ball here. Bailey on to Chapelau, Tangata looking for the big hit, but he just bounces off him, but he's put down by Leroy. Here's Clark, finds Williams, short ball to Gallagher, a great tackle down low from Keys as Newcastle in Halifax to 20. Here's Bailey, just hands it off to Clark. Pace just dropped a little bit for Newcastle there. It's easily defended by Leroy and Wood. Options left and right here for Newcastle. They go left, Williams on to Miller. Miller out the back to Donaghy, and Donaghy knocks it forward onto the Halifax man. And the ball goes out of touch. An opportunity missed there for the Thunder. And Fax will get the scrum out, 10 metres out from the roll line. Less than a minute on the clock here. Tibbs from the scrum. Ooh, near half break there. Put down, it's a quick play of the ball as well as Wood finds McComb. Halifax making great yards here, and McComb, little half break. Can the Panthers score points just before half time here as Newcastle slowing this play of the ball down and get a 6 again, Halifax? Here's Leroy, big collision there, brilliant contact. Here's a quick play of the ball as Bull tries to get a quick play of the ball. Here's Keys, short ball to Kavanagh, Kavanagh breaking through, and he's been pulled back there, surely Joe Keys, as Kavanagh still going on the hooter. And quite rightly, the referee will pull him back as a Newcastle man pulled him back for the penalty. And no doubt Joe Keys will take the 2 on offer here. The hooter going on in the background. Well, he's given the penalty, but he's taking some counsel for his touch judge. As Joe Keys looks to nail his second goal of the game. To stretch the lead to 12 points to 0. half time. The ground falls silent. It's a rugby union ground. It's very much a rugby union atmosphere here as Keys strikes it well straight through the posts. The flags go up. And what could have been even better half-time for Fax if they'd have finished off that move. When all said and done, it's a decent half-time score. Tries from Joe Keys and Lachlan Walmsley with Keys. His 150th career appearance, kicking one conversion, that one penalties for half-time. Made to make the half-time score here at Kingston Park. Newcastle Thunder 0, Halifax Panthers 12. Welcome back to Kingston Park here for this round 10 Betfred Championship clash, where Halifax hold a 12-0 lead over the home side Newcastle Thunder. Joe Keys on his 150th career appearance, scoring a try and kicking 2 goals. And Lachlan Walmsley, the Flying Scotsman, doing what he did for Scotland in the World Cup here at Kingston Park, scoring a pretty much length of the field interception try. Could have, maybe should have been more. Just for half time, Kavanagh breaking through, looking to offload to Keys, but Keys are pulled back. And referee Scott Michalauskas, for some reason, not giving a yellow card, but that's another story. I speak to the devil. Michalauskas has finally gone to the field. As Fax, with the sun out now here on Tyneside, on the Toon. Been cloudy most of the day, but the sun just peeking through. Hopefully shine on a Fax victory here as Keys gets us underway. Kicks deep and left, very deep in Williams. Clears it well, hands on to Clark, and Clark meets nothing but Ben Kavanagh and Tangata waiting for him. Here's Alex Clegg. Sorry, Brad Gallagher, my mistake. Tackle by G. Here's Ted Chapelau. Takes 4. Fax defenders to stop him. Tangata, G, Wood and Leroya. Bailey onto Williams. Williams brings on Foster on the angle. Good tackle there by Wood. Finished off by Leroya. Here's Clark once more. Thought about the pass, but decides to take the tackle of Kavanagh and Wood. Quick play the ball yet again from Newcastle. Have done well as Williams puts it high. Taken well by Pickersgill. And he'll take his tackle 15 metres out from their own line. Keys goes blind to Mason. Mason, great tackle there by Alex Foster. Mason got the better of him in the first half, but Foster sent out a strong message with that tackle as Walmsley brings Fax onto the 30. Slow play the ball. Here's Leroya. Hands on to Woodburn Hall, who finds McComb. McComb put down across the field, but no yards gained. Here's Tangata. Put down just over the 40. Last tackle here for Fax as Wood hands on to Keys, and Keys puts a spiral kick up. It's going everywhere, but well taken there by Donaghy. He'll hand it on to Boafo. And Boafo looks to get out the challenge of Tibbs, but Tibbs he pushes him off, and Boafo's still going. And Boafo takes his tackle just shy of halfway. Good chase from Woodburn Hall and McComb. And Newcastle looking to threaten here as Bailey short ball to Chapelau. Let's just say that was the flat side of forward, that. Newcastle won't mind that as Clark steps inside. Tries to brush off the tackle of Leroy. The ball goes loose, but it's just gone backwards as Barnforth takes a tackle of G and Wood. Newcastle into the Fax 20. Here's Bailey. Bailey thought about the pass, but it's tackled by Tangata and Leroy. 10 yards out from their own line, Halifax. Last tackle here for the Thunder. Clark finds Williams. Williams steps inside. Wraps up well. Good defence there from Fax. I think Newcastle lost the way a little bit there. I don't think Mitch Clark was supposed to get that ball, but the Fax defence stuck to the task well. And it results in the play of the ball. Ben Kavanagh. It'll be Ryan Lannon who'll try and get us out of danger here. Here's McComb. Looking for a gap, does well. But Newcastle defence. Front up to stop him just shy of his own 20. Here's Leroy. Good running there for Leroy. Put down by Williams. Quick play of the ball, they go blind. Here's Keys onto Kavanagh. Stopped by Chappell and Foster. Kavanagh pushing towards touch there. And the ball's gone that way to Walmsley. And there's a high a tackle in the air. It looked originally like a forward pass knock on from Halifax, but I'm not too sure what the referee's giving here. As Walmsley acrobatically taken down there.
Just an announcement from the club and justice goes out on May the 21st. As a long-time supporter of the club, Gateshead will be playing in the Wembley Showground versus today's opponent Halifax. So Tony, from everybody at the club and everything, hope the heat and hopefully you do well and fetch home the trophy.
And Halifax, after all that, will get a penalty from that. I'm not too sure why, but we'll take it. As Keys with a great touch finder into the Newcastle 20. Amazing taps and fights Tangata. Tangata put down by 3. Newcastle defenders there. Here's Keys. Short to Leroy. How he'd love a try on his return. He's put down 10 from the line. Options left and right here for Halifax centre field. They go right to Woodburn Hall. Woodburn Hall steps inside. Looking for the try and he goes over. Woodburn Hall. Great step off his right foot. As James Woodburn Hall playing 6 but getting 4 as he scores his 4th try of the season. After 5 minutes of this second half, the 27-year-old Jamaican international who played at 6 for Jamaica in the World Cup and scored the first try of the second half to bring Halifax 16-0 up against this spirited Newcastle Thunder side. You can count themselves a little bit unlucky there. They conceded a penalty from a tackle in the air, not from a kick, which I'm not too sure is a thing, but we'll take it. It swings and roundabouts. And Keys will surely look to turn this 4 into 6. Just to the right of these posts. Kicking towards that travelling Halifax contingent. Strikes it well. And as you can hear, the chant of Keys goes up. Takes his personal points total to 10 points for this game. And Halifax stretch their lead out to 18 points to 0. It'll be Alex Donaghy again who'll get us underway. Goes deep and left, taken by the try scorer Woodburn Hall onto Leroy. Leroy winding up. Takes tackle just shy of 20. Here's McComb. Goes between Clark and Tuilatu. Does well, McComb. Gets a quick play of the ball as well. Wood goes blind to G. Had a quiet game by his standards, Matty G, but no doubt He'll wanting to impart himself onto this game, and he does by getting a 6 again as well, and he lets number 29 and Nick Staveley know all about it. As Fax gets 6 more tackles. Start on the halfway. Keys finds Kavanagh on the angle. A good tackle there. Down low from Williams and up top from Gallagher. Quick play of the ball. Wood jumps out of dummy half onto Lannon. Great play. Lannon gets taken down into the Newcastle 20. Great position here for Fax and Newcastle. Slow to play the ball down yet again. Here's Keys. Out back to Woodburn Hall. Finds Pickersgill onto Tibbs. Tibbs. Great ball onto McComb. McComb just go for the line, and he has. Thought about stepping inside, but the line was there. And Halifax go back to back here at the Kingston Park Stadium. As Zach McComb, to my reckoning, that's his first try of the season. After great momentum there, the shift of the ball right, and great centre play from Ben Tibbs, got on the outside shoulders of the opposite number and timed the pass to perfection. Still needed scoring, and McComb, a compulsive stepper inside, this time went straight for the corner flag and scored out wide. As Kyle Wood gets a well-deserved rest. He's had a brilliant game as Kyle Wood. And Tom Inman will come onto his place. And yet again, Keys left with a difficult touchline conversion here. Strikes it well. Great kick from Joe Keys, straight through the post. Extends that lead. Newcastle Thunder 0, Halifax 24. And Halifax not conceded in 3 halves of rugby in the last 2 games. Carrying that on. As Donny once more goes deep and left. And Tangata gets the ball this time off Woodburn Hall. Put down by Clark and Chapelau. Here's McComb. The try scorer trying to poke his nose through. Well, put down by Clark and Bawafo this time. Oh no, sorry, my mistake. It's Daniel Okoro. As Woodburn Hall takes, Leroy takes it this time. Inman finds it to Keys. Keys back inside to Lannon, but Gallagher was waiting for him. Slow play the ball. Keys kicks early on the 4th. Game management here looking for the sideline, but Donny goes across well. For a gap in the defence, but Tangata and Leroy put him down 25-30 from their own line. Here's Bawafo. Put down just shy of 40 by Lannon and Tangata. Here's Staveley. High tackle there from Halifax, but not got punished there by the referee, and it's a quick play of the ball. Clark onto the substitute Okoro. Good run there, good yards. Eventually put down by Kavanagh and Leroy. Here's Ted Chapelau onto Miller. Miller brings on Bailey on the angle. Brought down by Inman and Tangata. Last tackle here for Newcastle. Go blind to Miller. Miller will just put it high. Look for Bawafo, but it's a bit too far. But Pickersgill clears well. And goes down just over the Union 5 metre mark. Here's Tibbs. This Newcastle defence rushing up, putting pressure on this Fax attack. Here's McComb. Looking for a break of bounce. And once more he pulls his nose through. There's support runs with McComb. There's some joy there if they can get there. Here's Keys. Running down a blind alley there, eventually put down by Clark. This is better Newcastle defence, restricting Halifax. Just over the 20 here. Here's Lannon. Halifax going more direct. There's a bit of a tip tackle there, and it has gone over the horizontal just about. Again, slightly unlucky, but it was a penalty. But it just gives Halifax more territory to get out of our own half as Keys kicks a penalty to touch. And Fax will start the set off 5 metres into Newcastle half. Mason taps and finds Tangata. Big collision there from Ted Chapelau. Helped up by Coro. Inman onto Keys. Keys out the back to Woodburn Hall. Short to G, but G, great tackle there from Staveley and Bailey, forcing the knock on from G. And Newcastle get some reward for their effort in defence there. And they'll get a scrum 30 metres out, centre field. It'll be Jack Miller to feed. Here's Alex Foster. Runs direct. Takes tackle of Kavanagh, but gets up fairly quickly. Kavanagh, big contact there. Helped out by Leroy. Here's Okoro. Great tackle there from Inman. Fantastic technique. Helped out by Tangata. As Newcastle edged away into the Panthers' territory. Here's Chapelau. Good tackle there. Inman once more. Helped out by Leroy and G. Here's Clark. Steps inside. Tries to hand off G. Put down. Helped out by Inman. Last tackle here for Newcastle. 25 metres out. Miller puts it high. Pickersgill takes. No real pressure on him. And he's allowed to run across field. Pickersgill eventually put down by Nickau Williams, who drags him back to the 5 metre line there. Lannon, thought about the offload there, but takes his tackle. McComb making really good yards there, Zach McComb. On to the 30. Here's Woodburn Hall. Finds Tibbs. Fancies the outside as Ben Tibbs. Goes inside Buafo. Goes past the halfway for Fax. G in a dummy half. Finds Leroy. Leroy running across field. Comes out the challenger Clark, who goes high. And Clark looking for a bit of afterwards with Leroy, but Miklauska straight in there after giving the penalty. And Leroy with a grin on his face. He's missed all this. Not any malice in there, it was just a loose arm there, but he's still high. Hence just the slight talking to for Miklauskas there. As Fax get yet another penalty, and Keys will look to boot Halifax further into the Newcastle territory there. Waiting for a ball here. We're missing a ball. Eventually, Inman will tap the penalty. Is Tangata. Great footwork there. As Mitch Clark is pulled away. Can hear the screams up here. I think his ankle or his knee, but he pulled out of that challenge. Not great there. And you can hear him scream there. Hopefully he's okay.
If you do wish to attend that game, tickets are now on sale.
Must be okay. It's one of those where your leg just gets caught under the weight of the challenge. The doctor and the physio straight on, and quite rightly, the referee stopping the game. It's not a head injury, but it's still not a good sight to see. And Mitch Clark is going to make his way off the field. He's walking okay, but I think he's more of a precaution really than anything. I think there's still some discussion between him and the physio whether he wants to come off. But I think he's going to be overruled there, is Mitch Clark. And that'll be Jay Chapelau going back onto the field. So both Chapelau brothers on the field once more. After all that, they've forgotten Halifax have got to play the ball 20 metres out. Inman fires it to Lannon. Lannon short to Calcott, who's back onto the field for the Panthers. Option left and right. Inman shits left and goes right onto Lannon, but is met well by Chapelau there. 4 men struggle to put him down. Eventually they do. Tackles in the bag here for Halifax in Newcastle. 20 Keys finds Woodburn Hall, goes himself Woodburn Hall. Kavanagh thought he might have got the pass there, but there could be Joy blind with Tom Inman. Tries to go himself, he's tripped over by the leg there, and Inman goes over. And yet again, Tom Inman making it a trademark of his, jumping out of dummy half to score a try for his hometown team. And just after a quarter of an hour of this second half, Tom Inman scores his 3rd try of the season to push the score out to Newcastle Thunder 0, Halifax 28. Leaving Joe Keys with a relatively simple conversion this time. But what's been a stop-start last 5 minutes due to injuries and penalties, Halifax got the rhythm there, and Inman, after falling over the legs of a Newcastle defender left on the floor after the ruck, somehow managed to force his way over, to the delight of those Halifax fans behind the posts. As Keys looking to turn this 4 into 6 and keep up his impressive points all this afternoon. And that Keys chant goes up again, and that conversion on his 150th career appearance brings him a 14-point all for the Irish international, and it's Newcastle 0, Halifax 30. And there's still over 20 minutes even left in this second half. There's a bit of a delay in this kickoff now. And in the background of that, there's been a sin binning for Newcastle. And Halifax failed to deal with the short kickoff for Newcastle. As Chapelau, Jay Chapelau that is, comes across, and I think it's Brad Gallagher that's been sent to the sin bin for contact with the referee. Oh, I completely missed that, but that's what it seems. Chris Dorman sat across from me, and you may well hear his dissatisfaction at some of what's going on, as Ted Chapelau takes a big collision from Will Calcott there. He screams out this time as they go from dummy half. Newcastle here, and they've got over, and the 0 points Halifax conceded in the last 2 games have gone, and it's 12-man Newcastle who, through the substitute Deneve Barnford, Who says anything that Tom Inman can do, so can I. And he dives over to get Newcastle's first points of the afternoon. And the game's no doubt won, but no doubt Simon Griggs will be filthy with that try conceded as Nickar Williams converts. And what happens so often in rugby league, the side with 12 men score the try. Halifax not dealing with that short kick-off well at all. And Newcastle taking advantage.
That takes the score to Newcastle Thunder 6, Halifax Panthers 30. Come on, Thunder fans!
What response from Halifax now after conceding the first points after 100 minutes of rugby in the last two games. $160 even. No, 140. Batting my strong point. Anyway, there's a game going on. Okoro takes a tackle well. Ted Chapelau takes a tackle of Murray back onto the field and Lannon. Jack Miller looking for a 40-20, but McComb read it well. Takes it on the full and looking to counter-attack there. Inman waits at dummy half. Finds Tibbs. Tibbs thought about the pass but takes it himself. Just snuck over halfway there, Ben Tibbs. Inman finds it to Keys. On to Lannon. He looks to play on that left edge. Yeah, it's Kavanagh that's come off Dan Murray, and Lannon has gone on the second row. And that side is Walmsley jumps out from dummy half. Makes some good yards there. As Halifax find themselves just outside Newcastle 20. Here's Keys, short to Murray. Murray puts his nose through. Last tackle here for Fax. Inman finds Woodburn Hall. Long ball out of McComb. McComb knocks on to Boafo. Boafo knocks on there as well. And it's going to be a play of the ball to Newcastle.
After the game, it is your Newcastle Thunder under 18s versus St Helens under 18s. So if you've got nothing on and you want to stay with some drink, please.
Opportunity missed there as Newcastle still down to 12.
In the bar afterwards as well.
Newcastle trying to get out of territory, but Halifax tackling there as Boafo comes off his wing. Good defence there from Matty G. Here's Clegg. Good defensive set here from Halifax so far, restricting meterage of Newcastle. This is better though, as Connor Bailey makes some decent yards, finds the 40-metre line, despite the attention of Murray, Inman and Calcott. Here's Jay Chapelau, goes past halfway for the Thunder. Last tackle here. On to Miller. Miller puts it high, spiralling somewhat, but Pickersgill takes it well. On to McComb. He's broken field ahead of him, but the chasers do well. And McComb lost his way a little bit there. Here's Walmsley. Walmsley looking to break through, looking for the offload, but takes his tackle there. Little half break. Inman on to Lannon. Lannon finding joy on that left flank there, making some good yards. Inman on to Tangata. Tangata thought about the pass, takes it himself. As both Chapelau brothers stop him there. Inman goes left to Keys. Keys onto Mason. They break through. Mason stepping inside. Pass out to no one but the advertising audience, and the chance is gone. Took the wrong option there. There were support runs on the inside, but it was a good tackle from the Newcastle defender. and it results in Newcastle play the ball 30 metres from their own line, centre field. Here's a Coro. I'll charge it up. Taken by Calcott, helped out by Murray and Tangata. Panthers finds Ted Chapelau even. Once more Murray involved and Calcott. As Newcastle try and make their way upfield. Here's Miller. Short ball to Staveley, and Staveley is met by three Halifax defenders. Woodburn all the dominant one in there. Here's Miller. And Chapelau gets an offload to Donny. This is good play for Newcastle, but Tangata does well. Gets back to take the full back down. Bamford jumps out from dummy half. And again, stepping well, Bamford. He's still going, Bamford. Is he over the line? No, he's brought down just short. Last tackle here for Newcastle. Miller grubbers it through, and Lannon does well. Stops it with his body. And Halifax survive that scare. In and on to Keys. Keys finds Mason. Mason fancying this left flank, and Mason going through. The door's shut on that right hand side by Clegg. Here's Walmsley. Walmsley, good offload to Pickersgill. Pickersgill, broken field here. He's away, lovely ball, he's at Inman. And the ball's lost by Tom Inman, and he looks to have gone down a bit gingerly there. No pun intended, but he's got back up now. Lots of half breaks being made from Halifax, but just no final product so far. As Inman's getting some treatment from the doctor and the physio on the field. Gives the Halifax subs to non-playing staff to come on and give some water to the boys. No doubt it's quite hot in that sun. Looks like he's okay, Tom Inman. That's good to see. And after all that, it's a scrum to the Thunder. 40 metres out from their own line. In the middle of that field. Be Williams to feed. Newcastle still down to 12, remember. As Jack Miller takes it himself. Taken down by G. Staveley runs back at G. But taken down by Murray downstairs. Helped out by Tibbs. As Newcastle venture into Halifax territory. Here's Connor Moore. Bounces off the challenge of Inman, but he goes back for more. Literally goes back for more. Here's Chapelau. On to Williams. Williams there. Late shot there from Tangata. Needlessly there. He's aggressive, is Tangata, but sometimes he's not in the right places. And he's lucky to stay on the field, really. Because late challenges usually are a sin bidding. And Newcastle side to tap and go. As Okoro meets heavy challenge from Calcott, Tangata and Inman. Tackles in the bag here for Newcastle in great territory. Here's Miller. Miller onto Staveley, but Staveley is stopped by Woodburn all. And Tibbs there. Donny finds Miller. Runs across field. Little grubber through. Lannon this time decides to bat it back dead. But it's going to be a penalty to the Thunder yet again. Offside at the play of the ball. Can see Scott McLeod's just pointing him out. You're offside, you're offside, you're offside. And once more, just letting Newcastle have more tackles on our own line here. As Jay Chappelau starts to set off. Here's Williams. Finds Miller. Short ball to Ilatu. Going over the line, trying to twist over, but he's stopped just short. Bamford from dummy half. Finds Conor Moore. Bounces off the challenge. It's good running. He's still going, is Conor Moore. Great tackle there. As Newcastle still on Halifax's line. Ball to Williams. Williams, long ball out, and it's a walk in there for Alex Clegg on that right hand side. And Newcastle will make the pressure tell. And just into the last 10 minutes, Newcastle get the second try of the game to bring the score to the Thunder 10, Halifax Panthers 30. And 2 tries in the last 10 minutes for Newcastle, taking a little bit of the gloss off this Halifax performance. The victory is assured, but 2 tries in the last 10 minutes is not great. As the Thunder are wasting no time, here's Williams striking from wide out, but he puts it off target, so the score remains. After that Alex Clegg try, Newcastle Thunder 10, Halifax Panthers 30.
Come on, Thunder fans! We've got 9 minutes to go here. The comeback song.
The tenor announcer, the comeback song. Let's hope he's not right. It's Keys. Will get us underway once more. He goes deep and left again. The sun's in the eyes, but takes it well. And Jay Chappelau, ever willing runner, does well. Great yards after contact there. We'll play ball on 20. Newcastle go blind. Brad Gallagher back onto the field after that sin binning. Takes a tackle of Tibbs and Keys on that side. Here's Connor Bailey. Making some good yards here, Newcastle. Here's Williams. Dummies for a runner. Short ball to Makoro. As they go past halfway, Newcastle. Here's Conor Moore again. His barnstorming run gave Newcastle the platform to score before. There's great yards here for Newcastle. Last tackle on the 40. Big kick from Miller. And Pickersgill claims well. And just surrenders to the tackle of Robert Tuilatu on the 10-metre line. Here's McComb. He's run well today, McComb, but he stopped well on his tracks there. Woodburn all hands it on to Walmsley. Walmsley, the ball's popped out from the pressure of that challenge in Newcastle. Looking to take advantage as Connor Bailey steps through. But in the last 10 minutes, he's just all gone a bit awry for the Panthers. As Keys puts Gallagher down on that far side, Williams brings on Okoro. Tackles in the bag here for Newcastle. 10 metres out. They go left. Williams out to Miller. Miller goes himself. Jumps out the challenge though. And on to Bamford. Bamford steps out the challenge of Leroy. And Bamford is over the line, but he's held up. And they push him back into the field of play. Donny finds Miller onto Williams. Williams tries to step through, but Ryan Lannon does well, puts him down. Still tackles here for Newcastle. Conor Moore, dummies, bumps off Calcott. But his company rescuing does well to push him back onto the middle of the field. Short ball, and Chappelau walks through a massive gap in the defence. And 3 tries in the last 14 minutes here for Newcastle. is really changing the complexion of this game. Just 6 minutes to go here. And Newcastle 14, Halifax 30. As Jay Chapelau walks through a massive gap. Williams wasting no time in booting that conversion over. And with 5 minutes to go here at Kingston Park. It's Newcastle 16, Halifax 30.
Come on, Thunder fans!
And this dominant performance has just taken somewhat of a turn in the last quarter of an hour here. As Keys goes deep and left, and here's Connor Moore again, who's made a real impact since coming back off the bench for the Thunder. Here's Ted Chapelau. Attracts 4 defenders, but he's still moving. Eventually he's put down. Sorry, that was Jay Chapelau. The try scorer, my mistake. It's Tuilatu. Good tackle there. And it was a forward pass from the Tuilatu there. Great pressure there from Woodburn Hall. And Halifax get a scrum 25 metres out for the Thunder line, centre field. Can they get one more try before the game's end? Keys feeds. He's trapped to the back of the scrum. Woodburn Hall finds Mason. Mason goes on his right hand side, and Mason's still going round the outside of Staveley, but Staveley does well. Here's Woodburn Hall. Finds Keys. Brings on Murray. But Murray taken down by Jay Chapelau. And Connor Moore there. Here's Keys. Brings on the on-rushing Calcott on the angle. But he's put on his back. Great tackle there from Okoro. Held out by Chapelau once more. Inman finds it to Keys on that left-hand side. Brings on Lannon. And Jake Mason's getting some treatment on this right-hand side here. Inman jumps out from dummy half. Here's Calcott. Pass was behind him, so he just keeps hold. As Mason limping off the field. Doesn't look good, that. Inman fires it to Keys. A bit of an overlap here for Halifax as Keys grubbers it through to the in-goal. Donaghy trying to get out of danger, but great chase there by the Fax man, Ben Tibbs. Forcing a goal line dropout. And we're just over 2 minutes to go here. Halifax have one more chance to put some points on the board, and to put a positive spin on this second half. As Donaghy basically places it in the hands of Walmsley's Laroya. Takes it up. They'll start the set just outside the 20. 6 again here for Halifax on the first tackle as Calcott bumps off Williams. Keys goes to sell, steps through the defence, and Joe Keys scores his second of the game and crowns off a fantastic 150th career performance for himself to stretch the lead out to 34 points to 18. His conversion coming up will no doubt make it 36. And he deserves that for the work he's done, as Jake Mason hobbles off in front of him, and that does not look good. As Fax taking advantage of the 6 again, and Joe Keys stepping through the defence. to score underneath the post. If this goal goes over, his points all goes to 20. Push him up that point scorers table in the Betfred Championship. Let's be running down this clock. It's just stopped 18 seconds before the 80 as Keys goes through his routine. Straight through the post, and the crowd will tell you that. With that goal, takes score to Newcastle Thunder 16, Halifax Panthers 36. And a bit more of an accurate reflection on this game. Spirited performance from Newcastle to come back. 3 tries in less than 15 minutes, but Halifax have been pretty dominant throughout. And McComb will take the tackle. It's just the last one of the game as the clock goes to 40. There's been time for one more as Matty G takes the ball up as a hooter goes in the background. And that's it's an important win for the Halifax Panthers up here in the northeast with Joe Keys. The start of the show is 150th career appearance. 2 tries and 6 goals for a 20-point haul, with other tries from Lachlan Walmsley, spectacular length of the field interception. James Woodburn-Hall, who played well at half-back, Zach McComb, and Tom Inman with a trademark dummy half scoop. Brings a score at full time here at Kingston Park. Newcastle Thunder 16, Halifax Panthers 36.